Hey, what's up, guys? This is Justin with California Grenadiers again. So I started the metal cloak install today. Just kind of took my time. Just wanted to really work on the front, get that a little bit dialed in before I switched over to the back. This could be done in probably 8 hours, if you're experienced and you've wrenched a lot and stuff. It's a little harder on the floor because you got to get a lot of torque on things, but it's not too difficult. You just pull the old links out, put the new links in. You just have to support the axle and also support the frame. That way when things shift around, when you move the links, especially the track bar, everything's safe and suspension stays in place. So here you can see the swaybar links. These are pretty sick. They've got some really beefy Heim joints on them. All you really have to do is unbolt the old one. That slides out, and then this kit comes with pins that you slide the Heims over, and then it comes with like cotter pin things that lock it in place, and some clevises and things. Really beefy jam nuts, gold zinc plated, all the good metal cloak stuff. So this is really useful because when you go off-roading, you want more articulation. You want the wheels and the axles to stay planted and allow the suspension to do the work rather than the body rolling with the axles and with the suspension. It allows more flex and a more planted feel in slow, like crawling kind of things that require a lot of articulation. It's real easy to get these off. You just pop them off, stick them in the toolbox or something, the tool bag. You should tie up the sway bar after it's disconnected. The kit came with some straps and things and some mounts. I haven't installed that yet. Probably just gonna use like a ratchet strap or something just wrapped around the frame. I don't really want to drill into the frame, so we'll see. And then let's see some other gold goodness. Let me see if I can get a picture for you guys here. So here we are looking at the track bar, the adjustable track bar. So this is really one of the big things you need once you lift the car. As you lift the car, the axle swings because it's connected by a panhard or a track bar, track arm, and it's not adjustable. So in order to get the geometry back, the suspension geometry back to where it was factory, you need a longer track bar or an adjustable track bar. Adjustable is the best because, depending on the weight of the rig, what you have loaded in it, that's going to vary between vehicle to vehicle. So adjustable is good because then you can measure, make sure the axle's centered, and then you can tighten it down to the uniqueness of your rig. So this thing's super beefy. It's got the great bend there to clear the diff cover. And the joints are really what's cool. They're like Duraflex joints, and they're rebuildable. They also include big thick spacers that go inside to fit the track bar mount bracket on both sides, the frame side and the axle side. And this one's like a capture style, so you just slide it in there, and when you torque it down, because this doesn't have a nut on the other side, it's just the nut's built into the bracket. A regular washer would tend to spin, or it'd be hard to get it in there and line it up, so that's kind of neat. The other one's not too bad. That one's easy to get in. Let's see. Let's take a look and see what else we got here. I've been getting a lot of questions on Facebook today. I took about an hour break to kind of give some previews of some of this stuff, talk about some stuff. It was interesting that some people seem to be really hurt by it. I don't know why. It's aftermarket stuff, It's made by a suspension specialty company. So they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for a decade, a little over a decade, I think, in the Jeeps, which use the same kind of suspension setup. They use solid axles, they use upper and lower control arms, they use track bars, drag links. It's pretty much identical. So, I don't know why people were getting upset or hurt or saying, oh, factory's better. That's fine, if you're an engineer, that's to be expected, that kind of attitude, I guess. No offense, but engineers tend to be that way. But when you get out in the real world and start using things and putting them to the test, there's a big difference between theorem and practicum. So you can really tell, when I took these off, or took the stock arms off, they're square tube, they're beefy, they're good, they're great. They were more like cast, the bends were like machine bent, the welds were like machine welded, and that's all great. The DOM was thick, but it wasn't as thick as these. They weren't adjustable. So that's the main purpose of these, to be adjustable. Because as you raise the vehicle, the axle also shifts backwards. If you want to get it back into line, all the geometry all back in alignment, you need longer arms. And it's not hugely longer, just a little bit longer. And the benefit of this is that you can recenter the axle, and you can also adjust your pinion angle and your caster. So for you guys out there that are from the Jeep world or have been following along, you know that the drive shaft is a concern. I had this custom drive shaft built several months ago and have been driving with it, no issues. I don't have to worry about torn boot or breakage there or anything. But with these double cardan joints, they can have a tendency to vibrate if the pinion angle doesn't match the transfer case output angle. They should be like maybe 1 to 2 degrees within spec of each other. So my plan is, or I'm hoping, that once I get this aligned, and play with the pinion angle a little bit, those vibes will go away. I just drove it down the street. I did put a little bit more pinion angle in it. I think I need probably about 1 more degree. So I need to shorten the upper control arms just a little bit to tilt the axle down a little. So then it'll be matching better the transfer case output angle. So that's really the prime reason why these links are important. Getting the geometry back into spec, getting your pinion angle good, and getting more caster in. If you can get more caster in this thing, like, the nominal is 2.0 from the factory. If you can get like 4 or 5 in this thing, it'll drive great. I was already driving it down the street the way it is, and it was driving much better. It was tracking much straighter because I was able to put a little bit more caster in. I don't know what the exact numbers are. I don't have a method to measure at home, and I'm going to get it professionally aligned anyway. So more to come on that. But it was already vibrating less, so that's a good sign. If we can get that all kind of dialed in, then we're gonna have a solution for you guys that wanted, wheel a little bit harder, have some sense of security in regards to that natural fuse in the system. If you're going with bigger tires, that factory drive shaft with the Zeppa joints may not last that long. It's kind of a wear part, especially if you wheel a lot. But hopefully we get that solution sorted. For me, it's tolerable. The vibration's not that bad. I'd rather have the peace of mind and a little bit of NVH, but some people, they're driving this thing on the street all the time. I mean, I am too, but They don't really go off-roading. They want it to be quiet. They want it to be a luxury vehicle. That's not necessarily my goal with this. I want to get out, go wheeling, do some rock crawling, do some overlanding, you know. So that's really the goal for me. And, you know, eventually, maybe get this thing on 37s. The great thing about having this drive shaft too is that it can droop and not be in danger of failing like an Arzeppa would. An Arzeppa, you know, it has a limit to how far it can droop before the boot gets pinched between the collar and the boot and the shaft. And once that pinches, that tears and that fails. All the grease flings out, the joint heats up, the ball bearings and everything there can fling out. If it completely flies loose or comes loose, it can flail about and, you know, damage the tranny pin, damage the oil pan, damage all kinds of stuff, you know. So that's kind of the danger of the Arzeppa if the angles aren't kept happy. But with this double cardan, it allows for more angle. So with more angle toleration, we can put longer shocks in. With longer shocks, we can get more down travel. Now people will say, well, then you limit your up travel. Well, right now, the way that the Kings are, the Radflows are, they have 1 inch of extra down travel built into them and are still the factory height shock body. So that's, you know, nothing to scoff at. You know, a lot of people will be like, sweet, that's a happy medium, I'll do that. Me, I'm gonna try to shoot for a longer shock. I want like maybe 2 or 3 more inches. You know, and then all that'll require is some bump stop extensions. And if we have that, then maybe we can get some 37s, and on full tuck, it won't rub and it won't rip the fender out. So that's kind of the overall goal, what I'm shooting for, you know. I want this thing to be capable. I want to be able to do some of the trails that I did in my Jeep. Not all of them. I don't want to get crazy with it. I don't want to destroy the thing. But I want it to be more capable than what it was factory. Like, don't get me wrong. This thing is extremely capable factory. But I just want a little bit more. I want more ground clearance, so I don't have to worry about a lot of those lower rocks or getting hung up or high center. I want more articulation, smoother articulation. I want a more planted feel. I want bigger tires so I can clear the diffs. I've got the bead locks so that I can air down sufficiently and get more traction in sticky situations. You know, we're just all learning here, you know, working on things and figuring things out, but I'm applying my previous experience within the Jeep world, you know, coming from 1 tons and 40s and cutting all these mounts out and putting in long arms rather than these mid arms. You know, I kind of have a fair amount of experience in doing this thing. So that's where I'm heading with this, you know. I'm just trying to share some knowledge with you guys, share some insight, share the things I'm doing so, you know, you guys can understand what's going on here. Not everybody has the experience I do, or some of the manufacturers have, or developers, you know, and we're all just trying to figure this out together and have fun together. And I'm all about, you know, sharing knowledge, helping each other, helping one another, and making things better. So, man, look at that gold too, that gold zinc plating. Whew. Little blingy too, I don't mind that. I know you guys don't mind that either. Nobody really looks under the vehicle, but man, when you step back and you see it. So yeah, we're just out here, guys, trying to make things better. So let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna work on the rear end tomorrow. That's gonna be the upper and lower links and the rear track bar. Get the rear axle recentered as well. And I'll be able to get the thrust angle set up better. So let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Ask a question. Give me your opinion. Try to be cool, you know? There's no reason to be like jerks to each other. You know, we're all adults. So let's work together. Let's get this thing done. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.